Going to be going over if statements and equality operators. Now, if statements are basically conditionals, which it makes it sound more confusing than an if statement, but a conditional basically means that you're telling the computer if something is true, then do X, Y, and Z. And if not, do something else. Or in the case of what we're learning in this video today, do nothing. We'll learn about making it do something else later. Let me just switch that to if statement. And equality operators, they help declaring if statements. So let's get started with both of those. So let's start off with a variable known as, let's just go with random int. And let's set random int to 5. Now let's make another thing. Another variable. This time let's call it random int 2. And we'll set it to 8. Now let's start by seeing how to declare an if statement. Now, to start an if statement, all you have to do is write if, and then space, and then let's say if random int, which is our first variable, is less than, this is the same old crocodile symbol you guys should know from school. If random int is less than random int 2, print hello there. Now, that might have been pretty fast, but let's go through what this if statement basically does. So this basically says if this variable, random integer, is less than random integer 2, then you should print hello there. Instead of just printing hello there, regardless of whether this is true or not, it's only going to print hello there if random int is less than random int 2. So let's give it a run, and we can see that it prints hello there because random int, which is 5, is less than random int 2, which is 8. Now that we have the basic structure of an if statement down, let's look into more equality operators. Equality operators, as you can see by this very, very detailed definition, they help declare if statements by comparing values to each other in a way that makes a boolean. Sorry for randomly bringing booleans into the mix, but booleans, as we covered in our previous class, are just true or false. So since this is true, and true is a boolean, this if statement makes the boolean true, and that's why it prints. Okay, I think the boolean thing was way too confusing, so let's just ignore that for now. Anyways, let's try a different equality operator. This time, let's do if random int is greater than random int 2, print hello there. As you can see, nothing is printed on the console because this expression evaluates to false. So the print statement only runs if the expression evaluates to true. Now, when you're making if statements, it's very important to keep this little indentation in mind, because let me change this back. Even if you don't have that indentation, whoopsies. If I don't have that indentation, it's going to give me an indentation error. Just when you thought you were getting comfortable with all the Python errors, there is an indentation error. It says that it expected an indented block. An indented block is basically just you pressing tab, waiting a second, and hoping that the little line thing disappears. And when it does, you should be good to run it again, and it should just run without errors. Now, let's actually try some other equality operators. So we've tried less than and greater than. Let's try less than or equal to. Since 5 is less than or equal to 8, this is a sign for less than or equal to, by the way. It's just a less than sign with another equal sign. And it says, hello there. Now, let's try it this way. Since randomInt 5, which is 5, is not greater than randomInt 2, which is 8, nothing shows up in the console. But if I try setting randomInt to 8 as well, something shows up in the console, because these two values are equal to each other. And since there's an equal sign here, the program is just like, is 8 greater than or equal to 8? And since that is true, whatever's in your function, your if statement, runs. Now, let's try full equals. Now, usually, when we're doing variables and everything, we only use one equal sign, but the equality operator for an if statement is 2 equal signs. You have to have 2 equal signs, or you're gonna have that like little red underlining thing, and it's gonna say invalid syntax, and it's not going to be fun to run. So just add 2 equal signs, and that is the is equal to operator. Now, let's say I make this randomInt 5 again, then nothing's gonna run because 5 is not equal to 8. Even if randomInt is greater than randomInt 2, it's not going to run anything because they are not equal to each other. Now, let's do is not equal to, and that's just an exclamation point before the equal sign. The exclamation point, I like to think of it as your computer being like, no, they are not equal to each other. Like it's screaming at your face. I don't know if that was a good comparison, but I hope it sticks with you in a good way. Now, as you can see, we do get the hello there message because 5 is equal to 8. Is not equal to 8. And that is exactly what we are testing. And yes, everyone, that is a brief overview of if statements and equality operators. And let's move on.